What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast, episode number 195, and this is going to be the Week 14 review. With me, as always, from Denver, Colorado, Jason Ashby. Jason, how you feeling after this week, my friend?
Not great, not great. This was a tough week for me. Lebo was a really tough competitor. But it could have been a lot worse. It could be still worse. So, I'm hanging in this fight, and we're only halfway done. Halfway done. Can you believe that? We're only halfway done.
Yeah, the All-Star break is a coming. This is the long week that we are currently in, so it will be 2 weeks long. Don't forget your move limits will still apply, and the minimum obviously still applies. Let's dive into this thing, man, and get this thing kicked off with matchup number one. It is Ben Nisman taking a 9-9 tie with Chris Levy. 10 straight undefeated weeks from Ben Nisman has him sitting pretty 51 games over 500.
Yeah. I just wonder though, like he tied Ari and he tied Levy back to back. Like these were
Mhm.
the like I just wonder if he's okay with that, or was he looking for, to squash these guys?
It's a good question. I haven't asked him. I did speak with him about the ties, and he said that's just kind of circumstantial
Yeah.
as far as what the score ends up. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can complain too much about sticking 51 over 500 in first place after 14 weeks. It's
Yeah.
as good as you could get.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
On Sunday, was on the wrong page here. Levy struck out too many times to flip that category, and Ben gave up too many homers to tie that category. He was hoping and praying for a George Kirby loss, but Levy took that one, and he gets the win. So it stays 9-9 coming out of Saturday, in which it was 9-9 going in. Close categories this week. Ben wins by 2 home runs, a strikeout, and 3 losses. Levy wins by 3 stolen bases, 10 ticks on the on base percentage, and a win. And they tied in triples, errors, and home runs given up by a pitcher. For Ben on his bench this week, he goes 8 for 25. That's a 320 batting average with 4 runs, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, a walk, 3 strikeouts that would have lost him that category, not including what he benched on Sunday because he benched his entire team out. And I'm willing
Except
to
for
believe.
Wilmer Flores.
Well, he picked up Wilmer Flores late because the on base percentage was only 7 ticks apart, and he kind
Right.
of
Right.
figured Wilmer wouldn't strike out twice. He didn't. Had he played Luis Ariz as well, he might have gotten batting or on base percentage, but we'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yep.
For his moves this week, he used all 10 of them. Cedric Mullins for a 1 for 5, Chase Shugart for a clean 2 inning relief appearance, Ryan Brazier, Tyro Estrada 0 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout, Curtis Mead an 0 for 3 with a stolen base, Sean Armstrong for a clean relief appearance, Nolan Jones a 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Yeah, he's using Nolan Jones because he's batting back to back with Carlos Santana now.
Hey, at least somebody is.
That guy is a mess. Spencer Bivens,
Bivens.
Beavis, whatever his name is. Clean relief appearance out of that guy. Mason Montgomery for a clean relief appearance. And Wilmer Flores a 2 for 5 with a run and 2 strikeouts.
But
He
more on
did,
Mason Montgomery in a minute.
yeah, that guy had himself an interesting afternoon on Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting drops this week from Benji. He did have to drop Javier Baez and rest in peace Clark Schmidt, who will
Yeah.
be undergoing the knife for Tommy John.
That's rough. That right there is rough. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the Baez drop surprised me a little bit. He's definitely been slumping, so I get it, but he's been so good.
Yeah, he hit a 2-run homer today, so
Yeah.
maybe he'll find his way back onto a roster here soon enough. His MVP this week goes to Brandon Nimmo. I'm on the wrong. There he is. 286 with a 286 on base percentage, 4 runs, a double, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and 6 strikeouts. He won the homers category by 2 and won the batting average category. So the 3 homers is really what plays here.
Yeah, yeah, and he hit all three of those in like or at least two of them over the weekend. Like that with that grand slam, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was clutch from Nemo against the Yankees.
Yeah, there was that grand slam against the Yankees.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was.
The least valuable hitter is going to be Byron Buxton this week. 100 with a 143, 2 runs, a double, an RBI, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. He's been just an absolute firecracker for Ben this year,
Yeah,
and
and he hit a home run on Sunday on the bench. So like he's still hitting hot. Just
mhm.
Ben didn't play.
20 homers and 16 steals. He's pretty much a lock for a 2020 year off of waivers for Ben. This is a great pickup.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, gosh, drafted by Lebo in the 24th round, and then to Josh, and then yeah, and now he's stuck on Ben's team.
And not only is he stuck on Ben's team, but he's the namesake of Ben's team.
Yeah, yeah.
And ever since he changed his name, he is undefeated here. So
He
this
he
is
might he Byron Buxton might become his new favorite player.
it might be. It might be. The MVP, the Cy Young this week is going to go to Christopher Sanchez. 7 innings, a win, 5 strikeouts, a 1.29 and an 0.71. It's a good start for him, and he's been really good this year. I think he's making the All-Star team too.
Yeah, he's at a 268 with a 113 over and 108 strikeouts in 100 innings. Yeah, he's having a nice year.
Mm-hmm. The Cy Young goes to Mason Montgomery. We talked about him. An inning and a third. The bomb that tied the category. 3 walks, a 13.50 and a 3.75, and a trip to AAA Durham.
Oh, they demoted him. Okay.
They
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, because I had him for a spell because like he hadn't been good, but they were still throwing him out there every so often.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'll take the bump on the ERA and just get the relief appearances. But yeah, I guess he's no more.
Nope. For Levy on his bench this week, he goes 11 for 50. That is a 220 batting average. 4 runs, a double, a homer, an RBI, a stolen base, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts. None of that plays. Well done, Chris.
Yeah, yeah, and he benched some bad pitching on Wednesday from Barrios and Brent Herter, so that was good too. Like, yeah, he had a good bench this week.
Yeah, I mean, the homer doesn't mean a damn thing. It was from Volpe on the bench on Saturday.
Yeah,
Austin Riley was on the bench for him on the 4th of July and did well. But again, none of it plays. He
yeah,
won most of the offensive categories. So for his moves this week, he used 10 ads. Nick Gonzalez, 1 for 4 with a run, a double, and an RBI, and Taylor Rogers. Colt Keith, 1 for 4 with 2 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Dietrich Enns, whoever that guy is, he was terrible against Washington. Cade Horton was a waste, and he was really good, apparently. For Brandon Pfaadt, 6 inning loss with 4 earned runs, so that's a 6 ERA and a 133 WHIP against San Francisco.
yeah. He had a Kid Horton. The start was against I think it was against Houston, or no, it was Cleveland, and yeah, he was really good, but he dropped him and went with Brandon Pfaadt instead, and Brandon Pfaadt was not really good.
Yeah, that Arizona rotation is a mess this year, but
Yeah, it
Corbin
is.
Burns down, Gallen's a mess, Fott's not very good. It's like Merrill Kelly and Erod, and even Erod is shaky.
Ryan Nelson is like their ace right now.
Gross. He added Hassan Kim 1 for 3 with a steal, Jonah Heim 0 for 4 with a strikeout, and Randy Vasquez 6 inning no decision, a 3 and a 1 against Texas, and Taj Bradley, who was benched on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
His MVP this week is fucking Judge, because of course it is. It's 409 with a 576 on base, 7 runs, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 9 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He's just on a tear again, and he's the best player in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, 360, 33 home runs, 74 RBI. Like that's a season right there.
Mhm.
Like those are season numbers.
Yeah. 80 runs scored. It's 6 steals. He's best player in baseball, and it's unfortunate that Chris is having such a bad season with him on the roster because it would be good to have that particular player involved in the playoffs this year. But
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that before with like Otani. I
mhm,
can't put my finger on it, but I feel like he's been on a losing team.
Otani's on a losing team right now in Costas' roster.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's a fair point.
The least valuable hitter is going to be Jonah Heim, we guess.
He only had him for a couple of games, but like everybody kind of did something in this lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Volpe hit 130, but he did steal a bag.
Yeah, three RBIs, like, but he's
Mhm.
committed an error, so maybe it's Volpe.
Yeah, 130 with a 130, 3 runs, a double, 3 RBIs, a steal, 4 strikeouts, and an error. Um, he did win RBIs. He won doubles. He won runs scored. So
I mean, Devers
he
had struck out
contributed.
10 times.
Devers has not been great since he moved to San Francisco. It's very
No, he
interesting.
hasn't. No, he hasn't. It's
Yeah.
been he's just getting like 1 for 4, 1 for 3s. Like, he hasn't had very many multi-hit games since
Yeah.
going to the Bay.
Yeah. George Kirby is going to be the Cy Young this week, 12 and a third, 2 wins, 14 strikeouts, an 0.73 and an 0.57. Remember when he tried to drop him?
Uh-huh. Yeah, remember
Uh-huh.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cy Young this week does go to Dietrich Enns. He was awful. He threw 4 innings in a loss of 15.75 and a 2.50. Just not great. Not great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's this guy for the Tigers that like he hadn't appeared in baseball for like 3 years and he came back with them and he had a good start against the Athletics.
Mm.
5 shutout innings, and then everybody was like, "Oh, Dietrich ends," and then he came crashing back to earth against the Nationals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they give him another start, it should be coming along here shortly, perhaps against Tampa. Don't know that I would go with him there.
I don't think I would go with him anywhere.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Ben's sitting very pretty in first place. I don't think there's going to be much of a fight from him to lose a spot in the playoffs this year. Again, the question is whether or not he gets the bye.
Yeah, yeah. It's Costas now, and then Bobby, Lebo, and then the Habers. So, we've seen this coming. He's getting towards that French gauntlet, but he's sitting pretty. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's definitely got a playoff position locked, and the bye is definitely within reach.
Oh yeah, 10 straight unbeaten, just sitting pretty, and he still has that number one waiver claim. He's not going to use that until the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next matchup here, my friend. Let's move on to Josh versus Sherman. And this was a real interesting matchup as Sherman gets himself a 10-9 win. Pretty surprising upset, if I do say so.
Yeah, especially since we'll talk about it, but it was the other way going into Sunday. So Sherman had another one of his magical Sundays.
Yeah, it was 11-8 going in Josh's favor. Josh untied saves and did take a loss, flipped the home runs given up by a pitcher, and Sherman flipped runs, doubles, and innings. So again, 11-8 coming in, 10-9 going out for Sherman. Close categories this week. Sherman wins by a run, 2 doubles, 2 steals, a win, and 7 ticks on the whip. Josh wins by 3 homers, 3 errors, a save, a home run given up by a pitcher, and 4 relief appearances. They tied in triples and losses. For Josh on his bench this week, he went 7 for 21. That's a 333 batting average, 3 runs that would have won the category, a double, an RBI, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. He could have tied strikeouts by a pitcher if he played Chase Burns, but that was pretty risky.
Yeah, it was Sunday in Philadelphia against the Phillies. So like I get it. And he didn't even go 5 innings, so he wouldn't even qualify for a win.
Mm,
But he did have the 7 strikeouts, which would have tied the category.
gotcha. 8 moves this week. He first off kicked it off by trading for Brendan Donovan. He got Brendan Donovan back from you for Brandon Lowe and Garrett Whitlock.
Yeah, of course, that was now day to day with a side issue. So, yay me.
Yay, you. Just everything's coming up roses for you right now.
Yeah,
You
someone needs
did
to
just get
revoke my,
Corbin
my
Carroll back, though.
yeah, just in time for Ketel Marte to be hurt.
Ugh, dude, killer, killer. He used his waiver claim to get Josh Lowe 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. He picked up Rob Z and he was placed on the IL, so we're not going to have to worry about that guy's fucking last name for a while. He picked up Casey Legumina, Trevor Larnach 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, Spencer Horwitz 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, Pablo Lopez on the IL, and Jacob Junis for a clean relief appearance. Finished it out with Jonathan Loizaga. He did give up an earned run against our Metropolitans in his relief appearance.
Yay.
His MVP this week is going to be Jose Altuve. 417 with a 483 on base percentage, 9 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Holy shit, does this guy even age?
I mean, he could be doing this until he's 50. I feel
Yeah.
like this is just another Jose Altuve year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder how many hits he has in his career and how close to 3,000 he is, because like I feel like he's the next dude who should be pushing that 3,000 mark, you know?
He's close, I think. What's he got? He's got
He's been around forever. He's been around 12 years
23,
now.
23. He got 2,300 hits.
Yeah, he could get to 3,000 here by the end of his
Yeah,
career.
he's 35.
Yeah, another 5 years at 125 a year. I think that'll get him close.
Yeah.
The least valuable hitter this week goes to Ben Rice. 154 average and on base with a double, an RBI, and 2 strikeouts. The Cy Young this week goes to Brian Wu. This is the third week in a row we're talking about him.
Woo, woo, woo.
6 innings, a win, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, nothing earned, and an 0.83 on the whip. The Cy Young goes to Chase Burns, a third of an inning, 135 on the ERA, and a 21 whip.
Yeah, since he didn't start him on Sunday, that's what he's left with.
Holy shit. That is 7 hits, and I don't even know how many earned runs. Maybe 8?
It was seven runs, 5 earned over a third of an inning on 5 hits and 2 walks.
Fuck, he got blown up.
Yeah, that was
And that was right before this Sunday start against the Phillies in Philadelphia. Like,
yeah, this was in Boston. Yeah, he got blown up,
obliterated. For Sherman on his bench this week, he goes 7 for 18. That's a 389 batting average, 5 runs, a double, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts, and none of it plays. Well done, Sherman.
Beautiful.
Yep. For his 8 adds this week, he added Dylan Dingler, Caleb Durbin, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, an RBI, 2 stolen bases, a walk, and a strikeout.
And he also got Giancarlo Stanton for an 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Eric Lauer, 6 innings and no decision, 3 ERA against the Angels. Jonathan Cannon for 5 1/3 and a win against Colorado. Anthony DeSclafani for a 4-inning loss against Kansas City. Michael Lorenzen was great, a 7-inning shutout win against Arizona. And Shinosuke Ogasawara, if that's how you pronounce his name, was terrible in Boston.
Stupid damn internet. Who is Shinosuke Ogasawara?
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce his name either.
Okay.
He was really bad. He's this guy from the Nationals, and in fact, when I saw the Mets and Nationals in Port St. Lucie in spring training, he pitched against. It was him against uh, uh, Kodai Senga, and this guy was dog shit, and he was in the big leagues too.
Yeah, absolutely. Key players this week. It's going to be Jarren Duran for the MVP for Sherman this week. 292 with a 346 on base percentage, 6 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, 6 RBIs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter will be Giancarlo Stanton. So much for that guy contributing at all this year. I mean, he's a mess. He did not record a hit, a 250 on base percentage, a walk, and a strikeout. Is he even doing anything right now?
I mean, he had a couple of good days. Just he was benched or not. You know, he wasn't in the lineup for Sherman. So he's hitting 222. He's just got 1 home run and 7 RBIs in 60 over 16 games. Like, yeah, he's still in spring training mode.
Yeah. The Cy Young this week goes to Michael Lorenzen. 7 innings, a win, a walk, 7 strikeouts, nothing earned, and an 0.43 on the whip. The Cy Young goes to Michael Soroka, who was absolutely abysmal. 4 innings, a loss, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 15.75, and a 2.75. That start came against the Boston Red Sox. They lost 11-2. Yeah, he's not good. He's
No,
not good.
not good. Not good at all. And both of them, him and the Ogasawara were both against the Red Sox, and they were both very, very bad.
Yeah, wrong side of the ledger to go against in
Yeah,
this matchup, you know?
especially right now, I feel like the Red Sox are kind of clicking. That their offense is doing well. Like I wouldn't stream against them.
No, I don't think so either. As for Josh, he's chasing Benji for the number 1 spot. He's sitting very pretty in second place with sitting about 40 games, 45 games over 500. Pretty nice situation to be sitting in.
Yeah, yeah, we've talked about it. These two are, I think, are definite locks for the playoffs, and you know whether they're the locks for the buys, it's still too early to tell. But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be seeing them, you know, in the playoffs.
And as for Sherman, he's starting to fade here toward the end, but he got a nice win this week.
Yeah, I think we can say this win kind of staved off, you know, the execution, so to speak. Him and me are
Mhm.
basically tied. Essentially, he's got a couple more wins and a couple more losses, so we're basically tied. Um, I think, you know, both of us are kind of hanging on. You know, we're next to each other, hanging onto the cliff with our fingernails.
Well, you've got to get this thing in gear, and so does he if he wants to make the playoffs. It's still a glom. We've still got quite a few teams fighting it out for the 6th seed. And look, there's teams tumbling right now, so we'll see exactly what happens here over the next 8 weeks.
Six games between spots 6 and 13. Right now, Frank is in the sixth spot, but he's only 4 over 500. So
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's still wide open.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about this beating that Jimmy gave me this week. God damn it. What a great week this was. I hit 219. This is wonderful.
And
On
you pitched to a 535 too.
Yeah, I pitched like shit. I hit like shit, and I still came away with 5 categories. How wonderful! Good job, me. On Sunday, Jimmy flipped runs, innings, and I gave up too many walks, and he took that category as well. So it was 11-7 going in. That's respectable. 13-5 coming out is not. Close categories this week. Jimmy wins by 2 losses and a walk given up by a pitcher. I win by 2 RBIs, 3 walks, and an error. And we tied in triples, steals, and saves. For Jimmy on his bench this week, he went 6 for 29. That's a 207 batting average. With a run, a double, 2 homers, 5 RBIs that would have won the category, 4 walks, and 16 strikeouts. The 4 walks also would have won in the category. There were a couple of plays he could have made here. Corey Seager on Wednesday and Dansby Swanson on the 4th of July.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. You know, both those guys are shortstop eligible only. But I think, you know, I mean, Seager is the guy, right? But then again, Swanson's hitting home runs too. So who knows?
Yeah, I think Seager has been in a slump over the first half here. I think he's got to get it in gear if the Rangers want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Swanson's on one of the best offenses in baseball. It is a difficult interesting duo to have on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
10 moves this week for Jimmy. He added Keegan Aiken for a very bad relief appearance, but somehow got the win and then was placed on the injured list. So he just had all the things happen to him on Monday.
Yeah, that's the way to start a week.
Yep. He added Brent Suter, who had a clean 2 2/3 inning relief appearance. Samuel Basayo, who's NA eligible catcher for the Baltimore Orioles. Rafael Montero, clean relief appearance. Grant Anderson, clean relief appearance. Nick Sandlin for a bad relief appearance. Cal Quantrill for 3 2/3, no decision with 6 strikeouts against Milwaukee, a 491 and a 191. Logan Allen, 6-inning loss with 1 earned run and 5 strikeouts against Detroit. Trevor Rogers, 6 2/3, a win, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, nothing earned against Atlanta. And finished it out with Taylor Clark after the bell. His MVP this week goes to Jackson Churio, because of course it does. 364 with a 400 on base, 5 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, a steal, a walk, and 5 strikeouts.
And of course, half of that was against our Mets.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
Yeah.
Least valuable hitter goes to Brian Reynolds. This guy's been a mess this year. 133 average and on base, a run, and 5 strikeouts. He's not been good for those Pittsburgh Pirates. A 229 batting average.
Yeah, he turned it on against our Mets, a week or two ago or whatever. But aside from that little spurt, yeah, he's really been bad.
Mm-hmm. The Cy Young this week goes to Edward Cabrera. 14 innings, a win, a loss, a homer, a walk, 11 strikeouts, a 129 and an 057. He pitched 7 shutout innings on Sunday. It was amazing. Was it shutout or was it
he gave up 2 runs to the Brewers. It was on Tuesday. He threw 7 shutout innings against the Twins.
That's it. That's the start.
Yeah, and that was the win. Yeah, but I mean both of them were really good starts.
And this dude's bounced around the league. Like all of a sudden now he's locked on Jimmy's team and he's pitching well.
Yeah, he's been everywhere. I feel like he's been back and forth for a few teams, but this might be where he lands.
Yeah. The Cy Young goes to Keegan Aiken. We talked about him. For me on my bench this week, I went 8 for 27. That's a 296 batting average, 5 runs, a double, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, a steal that would have won the category, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts, which would have tied the category had I had them in. The steal comes from Harris on, what is that, Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's hitting like shit. He's terrible as a 3rd-round pick. He'll never be on my team again, ever.
Right. So, like, I wouldn't have started him either. I mean, we can start him over Tommy Edman, I guess, but he's been bad too. But,
yeah,
like, I'd rather have Edman in my lineup than Michael Harris right now.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 ads for me this week. Yuki Matsui for an ugly relief appearance. Huascar Brazaban for a clean inning as an opener. Brock Burke for not a clean relief appearance. Anthony Bonda for a bad relief appearance. Graham Ashcraft for a clean relief appearance. Stephen Kolek, 5 1/3, a loss, 2 bombs, a 10-13, and a 188 against Texas.
And a demotion to AAA.
And a demotion to AAA. Good for him. I went with German Marquez against the White Sox in Colorado. He gave up 6 earned runs over 6 innings.
Yeah, that didn't work.
That did not work. It was so good. I went to the well the next day and picked up Chase Dolander, who went 3 2/3 against the White Sox. Yeah, that didn't work either.
Nope.
I also added Eric Fetty, it wasn't a bluff. I just wanted to get a whole bunch of innings because Jimmy was throwing 3 guys. Maybe I could win innings, but when Dolander went 3 2/3 and Brandon Waddell, who I picked up, went 2 2/3, it wasn't enough.
Yeah. But it worked out because he was terrible.
Yeah, he was a mess. My MVP this week goes to Marcus Semien, who is a nice waiver claim. 304 with a 429 on base, 6 runs, a double, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, a steal, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's your second baseman.
Mm-hmm. Marcell Ozuna is the least valuable hitter. He goes 063 with a 250 on base, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, no other counting stats. Yay, Marcel, and your busted up hip.
Yeah. And look, as Mets fans, I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep the Braves down there. Like, I don't even want to hear about them this year.
Yeah, I'd rather hear about the Marlins than the Nationals.
Yep. The Cy Young this week goes to David Peterson, 6 2/3, a win, 1 earned run on a solo homer, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 120 on the whip. The Cy Young can go to just about every fucking body else because I gave up so many runs, but Eduardo Rodriguez is going to be the answer. 4 2/3, a loss, 3 homers, 7 strikeouts, a 16-62, and a 277 on the whip.
Yeah, that was against the Royals.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Royals were a bad offense.
Yeah, I would have done that.
Well,
I would have gone there with him, especially on the Diamondbacks, like a good team.
yeah,
Not good.
made sense. It just didn't happen this week.
No.
Oh well. Jimmy punted me quite a bit down the standings. I sit in 5th now, only 10 games over 500, and I'm starting to end up in this glom that you guys are in.
Yeah, you're 3 games above Frank for the 6th spot. So welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party. All right, I'm showing up late, but I hope I don't. I hope I don't get my season ruined by this. Jimmy's right back in this fight too, man. He's right in the 8th place and sitting exactly at 500, which is where I've said all along you want to be until this playoff push, and here we are.
Yeah, yeah, and this was a huge win for him. It really vaulted him back up into this fight. He's got Adam now, then Henry, Sherman, myself, Ari, and Levy. So these are some
He
weeks where
finishes out with the easy part of the schedule, so he might be a dark horse here to crash the party.
yeah, he could really make up some ground here.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next matchup here, and it's going to be Costas taking a loss to Cody 11-8 this week. Cody gets a good solid win again to solidify himself right in the middle of the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
He's in 3rd place after 14 weeks. I'm sure he's thrilled with that. On Sunday, Costas flipped strikeouts by a pitcher. Cody tied saves and flipped walks by a pitcher. So it was 11-9 going in, 11-8 coming out. Close categories. Cody wins by 2 errors, a home run by a pitcher, and 3 walks by a pitcher. Costas wins by 4 strikeouts by a pitcher and 3 relief appearances. They tied in triples and saves. For Cody on his bench this week, he goes 7 for 31. That's a 226 batting average. 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and an error. None of that plays. Well done, sir. 7 moves this week for Cody. Evan Carter, who was away until Wednesday for his grandfather's funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and they didn't even place him on the. I think they waited like a day or two to even place him on the bereavement list. So they played shorthanded for like a day or two. But so Cody picked him up and then dropped him.
I gotcha. Kyle Stowers, 2 for 4 with a home run. Adrian Hauser, 8 shutout innings against Colorado. I picked the wrong side of that series.
Let me tell you how great that series was here in Colorado. You pick July 4th to have the Rockies and the White Sox. Like there were like 5 people in the stands.
Good job, schedule makers.
Yeah.
Put the 2 garbage teams together in the middle of the mountains.
Total waste of fireworks.
Yep. He picked up Evan Carter again, which was a waste. He picked up Cam Schlittler. Careful how you pronounce that name. He's an NA pitcher for the New York Yankees. He may be coming up with the Clark Schmidt injury.
Yep.
Patrick Corbin.
So Schlittler for Schmidt.
Schlittler.
For Schmidt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patrick Corbin, 6-inning win and a bomb, 3 and a 117 against San Diego. Finished it out with Ryan Gusto, 6-inning win, a walk, a strikeout, 1 earned run against the Dodgers.
That's how ballsy was that?
That's ballsy.
Right?
I think that was the day after the 18-1 game.
It was.
So yeah. I guess you're feeling like, oh, the Dodgers must not be able to hit right now. And he was right.
Yeah, they didn't hit all weekend.
Nope. The MVP for Cody this week is going to be Willie Abreu. 313 with a 389 on base, 6 runs, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Shout out to Cal Raleigh, who had 3 homers this week, but he hit 150, so we can't really give it to him this week.
Yeah, it was the home runs or nothing for him this week.
Yeah, and that's, it's Cal Raleigh. He's hitting 268, which is kind of over his head, but he's got 35 bombs this year. He's amazing.
Yeah. Vinny P had a good week too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. The least valuable hitter is Ozzie Albies, 250 with a 250, a run and a strikeout and a vetoed trade. I think this is a good spot to talk about that. We've had this in the past. Teams that are out of the playoff contention certainly cannot be making trades with playoff teams. And it's not a surprise that this one got vetoed. Ozzie Albies has been bad this year, and Casey Mize was a nice piece. But at the end of the day, we're not trading with the second to last place dude 40 games under 500.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to also. I had a, I was talking with Chris, but yeah, this is the way it's been done for as long as I've been in the bigs. And it's just one of those things.
Yeah, you just have to write those teams off at this point and say, okay, when I get them on the schedule, I have to beat them. Otherwise, they're just sort of cannon fodder at this point.
Right. They don't exist.
Yep. The Cy Young this week goes to Adrian Hauser, and the Cy Yuck goes to Jacob Lopez. This is the dude he picked up last week for this start, and he was bad. 3 1/3, an 810, and a 180 on the whip, with a homer, a walk, and only 1 strikeout.
More on him later on this show.
Oh, okay. For Costas on his bench this week, he goes 2 for 11. That's a 182 batting average, a run, 2 RBIs, a steal, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. None of that plays. It looks like he's been playing without a bench for the last couple of days, and he's going to do that intermittently here the rest of the way, I would imagine.
But like Sunday, he literally had nobody. Like there was nobody on the bench. Like the bench was empty.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Ari of hitters.
Yeah, he's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
10 ads this week for Costas. Victor Scott, 1 for 3 with a strikeout. IKF, 1 for 4 with a run and a strikeout. Joey Bart, 1 for 4 with a run and a strikeout. And Christian Koss, 1 for 4 with a double and a hamstring injury that landed him on the IL.
Yeah.
Carson Kelly, 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and a walk. Chase Mydroth, 0 for 3 with a walk, a strikeout, and an error. Anthony Bender for a clean relief appearance. Mike Burrows, 5 inning, no decision, nothing earned, and 4 walks with 6 strikeouts in Seattle. Tyler Anderson, 5 inning loss with a homer, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 3 earned runs against Toronto. And Gavin Williams, 6 inning, no decision with nothing earned against Detroit.
More on that game later.
Okay. The MVP this week is going to be Willie Castro for his 4 stolen bases this week. 4 steals out of Willie Castro, a 300 batting average, 462 on base, 2 runs, a double, 5 walks, only 4 strikeouts, and of course those 4 stolen bases.
And he won that category by 4. So there you go.
That's the guy.
Yep,
that's the guy. The least valuable hitter goes to the pair of Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, a 136 with a 269. Teoscar Hernandez, a 214 and a 214.
And he's banged up too.
Yeah, he is too. He fouled the ball off his foot.
Yeah.
Not great. Cy Young this week goes to Matthew Boyd. Is he really an all-star?
He's really an all-star. Like, this guy was like written off for dead like 2 years ago, and now he's an all-star.
2.52 ERA and a 107 whip with 9 wins. Yeah, he kind of deserves it.
Yeah.
Wow. This week, 12 innings, 2 wins, 2 walks, 14 strikeouts, a 150 and an 083. The Cy Young goes to his Yankee bullpen of Luke Weaver and Al Leiter Jr., or whoever the hell that kid's first name is. Mark
Leiter, yes.
Mark Leiter Jr. 2
the other Leiter.
2 1/3, 2 losses, a 15.43 and a 3. Yeah, that guy counts. Good job, that guy. He got blown up against the Mets, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Costas' season is hanging on by a thread, man. If I could be brutally honest here, he's 21 under 500. That's literally one shutout matchup away from 500.
Yeah. And it's who's he got on his schedule here? He's got he's only got Ben this week.
Yeah, he's got the number one team. This might be
Yeah,
the end of it all if he takes a blowout loss this week.
because then it's you, Bobby, Adam, and Lebo. Like, so yeah, I think we can, pretty much start carving the tombstone there, but
Mhm.
I mean, look, me and Sherman are, right there above him, so I guess, we're all kind of hanging on together.
Yeah, we're getting to nut cutting time, and we're going to start saying goodbye to some teams this year. We've already said goodbye to Ari and Chris.
Yeah.
Costas might be the next one here to go. For Cody, I certainly hope you enjoy the rest of the season. And number 3 in the standings is certainly quite an accomplishment so far this year.
Yeah, yeah, he's been there all year long, just kind of
Mhm.
hanging on there. Still, look, it's still close up there. Aside from Josh and Ben, it's still, the puzzle's
It's
not
still
clear yet.
wide open. Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
wide open. I mean, he could fall very quickly with a couple of losses. That's all it takes.
yeah. He's got you this week, but then it's Adam and Henry and Sherman and me, and then Ari and Levy. But he finishes the season out against Ben.
Yeah, be real interesting in week 22.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the next matchup here. We're going to talk about what I thought was the premier matchup this week going in. It was Mike Haber taking on Henry Collins. This ends up being the blowout of the week in a 16-5 victory for Mike Haber.
What a way for him to get right.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a time to get right too, because we're pushing here for the playoffs, and he certainly was starting to fade a little bit, taking a couple of tough losses. Here we go. This is the Mike Haber we all know.
Uh-huh. Yep.
On Sunday, Mike untied saves, flipped runs, and flipped walks by a pitcher. But Henry did take innings pitched. So it was 14-6 going in, 16-5 coming out. Close categories this week. Mike wins by 3 runs, 3 steals, 2 strikeouts by a batter, 2 errors, a win, 2 losses, a save, and 4 walks by a pitcher. For Henry, he wins by a home run, 9 ticks on the on base percentage, and an inning and 2/3. They did not tie in anything. For Mike on his bench this week, he goes 8 for 30. That's a 267 batting average. 5 runs, 3 doubles, 3 home runs that would have won the category, 8 RBIs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts that would have lost him the category. He also could have won the innings pitched category had he played Joe Boyle on Sunday.
Yeah, Joe Boyle came in for the bulk 5 inning relief appearance, and he's a namesake of the team, and I think he's gonna, it sounds like he's gonna be there for a while. I think the Rays are sticking with him, but he just didn't throw him on Sunday, and that would have made the difference.
Yeah, I think they're going to be piggybacking Boyle and Rasmussen here to go for the next few weeks
Yep.
because Rasmussen's inning limit might be getting to a point where he's getting too close to it.
Yeah. Yep.
5 adds this week for Mike Haber. He added Grant Holmes off of waivers, 6 innings, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, nothing earned, but no win against the LA Angels.
Yeah, and we were talking. Me and him were talking about this, and it's like, this is that wins category. It's like that looks like a win to me,
Mm-hmm.
like or
It was quite a quality start.
yeah, exactly. It's definitely a quality start.
He added J.C. Escara 0 for 3 with a walk and an error, and Shane McClanahan on the IL. He added Mitch Keller, 7-inning win, a walk, 7 strikeouts, nothing earned against St. Louis, and Isaac Matson after the bell. The MVP this week goes to Pete Crow Armstrong. I have eaten the crow on this guy. He's legit. He's legit.
Yeah,
He's not a
yeah,
Keelbadoo. 400 with a 444 on base, 5 runs, a triple, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter goes to nobody. He hit the cover off of the ball, 283 with a 360. There's not really anybody who didn't do something here.
And yet he still lost those categories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He put up 45 RBIs and 37 runs, though. That's a hell of a week.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. The Cy Young this week goes to Robbie Ray, who threw his second career complete game shutout this week. So 9 innings, a win, 2 home runs. They were solo shots, so it's not a complete game shutout, just a complete game.
Yeah.
A walk and 7 strikeouts, a 2 and an 044 on the whip. The Cy Young once again goes to Jesus Luzardo, who has been a mess this year. This one is 2 inning loss, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 22.50 and a 4.50. He was so good for a while, and now he's hit the skids.
He was so good, and then he was so bad, and then he kind of fixed it for a couple of starts, and then he threw this dud again.
Yeah.
He seems like a hand grenade right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't be starting him unless I absolutely had to, or the matchup was just too good to pass up.
Yeah, and he gets the Giants next. Like, I don't know if I would do that.
I don't think so. This is a disaster with the technical difficulties, but we're going to get through it, I swear.
We got it.
For Henry on his bench this week, he goes 7 for 36. That's a 194 batting average. 3 runs that would have won the category, an RBI, 5 strikeouts, and an error. So that doesn't sound too bad, but there was a save from Bennett Souza on Wednesday and a win from Chris Bassett on Thursday that would have tied categories and would have made this a lot prettier of a loss here.
Yeah. I mean, I get, Bassett against the Yankees, like it. I get it, but honestly, the way the Yankees have been playing right now, you probably could start a guy like Bassett.
Yeah, I think you can. So he's been good this year, right?
Yeah, he's been all right. He's been okay. He hasn't been like terrific.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at.
Whatever. We'll not worry about it.
Yeah, he's been serviceable. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
9 moves for Henry this week. Drew Pomeranz for a clean relief appearance. Lake Backer for a clean relief appearance and a save. Donovan Solano 1 for 3 with a run. Jordan Wicks 3 1/3, 2 strikeouts, nothing earned in a relief appearance. Shane Smith 4 1/3, a loss, a homer, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 5 earned runs in Colorado. Kyle Hart, a 3 2/3, nothing earned relief appearance. Hayden Birdsong, 5-inning win, a homer, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned against the Athletics on Sunday night. Colton Gordon and Alejandro Kirk 1 for 3 with a walk. Colton Gordon is for today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And could you imagine if he had gotten that Souza save in there? So he would have gotten saves from Bennett Souza and Lake Bachar. Like,
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
like
Henry.
that would have been something to write about.
Finding the vulture saves, sure.
Right.
MVP this week goes to George Springer, who had himself a hell of a day and a hell of a series against the Yankees this week. 429 batting average, a 500 on-base percentage, 9 runs, 5 homers, 13 RBIs, a steal, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Springer's having himself a year.
Yeah, I was texting with Mike, and we were like, "What year is this? Like, where George Springer is hitting 281 with 16 home runs? Like, is this 2017? Like, what's going on here?"
All of a sudden, he's back to being George Springer after having a down year.
Yeah.
The least valuable hitter goes to Carlos Correa, who was on the bench for quite a bit, did not record a hit with a 400 on base, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
I think it's cute that Springer and Correa get mentioned together.
And they're on the same
Astro buddies.
Yeah, Astro friends.
Yeah.
The Cy Young this week goes to Mason Miller. 3 innings, 3 relief appearances, 2 saves, a walk, 4 strikeouts, nothing earned in an 0.67. The Cy Young goes to Ben Kasparius. Yeah, he was a disaster against the Astros. 3 innings, a loss, 3 homers, 3 strikeouts, and 18 and a 3 on the whip. it was a mess against the Astros. They were terrible.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I mean, the Dodgers scored what 6 runs all weekend against the Astros. Six.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just couldn't hit the ball.
Nope, not at all. Both of these guys are deep in the playoff hunt, but I did get a text message from Henry that
Oh,
I will
okay.
bring up here. Yeah, he texted me not too long ago, a few hours ago, getting ready for the show. Um, this sucks. Really thought I had it in hand going into Friday. Then my pitchers forgot how to strike people out. Offense forgot how to hit doubles, and I just completely shit the bed. So it's a tough loss, but now you got to go catch Frank, who's in sixth place. He said, my biggest mistake going into Sunday was trusting the White Sox to win a game with someone other than Smith. I'd have gotten a few more stats. And Souza inexplicably coming in 2 days in a row and getting a save on Wednesday hurt on so many levels.
There you go.
Yep. So he's in the hunt, but now he's got to dig back out. Remember when he was in first place?
Yeah, right. I mean, if you feel like we were definitely singing his praises, and we thought he was going to be there all year long. He's now 3 under 500. He's right here, right there, and smack dab in the middle of this, crowd of guys that are trying to bust through this door to get into the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the guy who kicked down that door this week. It is Frank Bucco, who took a 14-3 win over Adam Lowenstein. It certainly gives Adam quite a punch in the mouth when he
Yeah.
was fighting for his playoff life. And now Frank sits 4 games over 500 and in sixth place. Congratulations, Frank. You're sitting in the playoff seat. You got to keep it going, but we're proud of you for the response that you made over the last month. This
Absolutely.
was a hell of a
Target's on your back, buddy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So on Sunday, Adam untied strikeouts by a hitter, but Frank flipped RBIs, strikeouts by a pitcher, and tied relief appearances. So it was 12-6 going in, 14-3 coming out, thanks to a couple of stat corrections.
Yeah, there was a lot of stat corrections this week because of that suspended Red Sox Reds game from earlier in the week. So there were a lot of stat corrections. Not many of it mattered. There were a couple in here that did. There were a couple in my matchup that did. That's really mostly it.
Okay. Close categories this week. Frank wins by 2 doubles, 4 homers, 3 RBIs, 3 losses, and 3 home runs given up by a pitcher. Adam wins by a strikeout by a hitter, an error, and 2 2/3 on the innings. They tied in triples, stolen bases, saves, and relief appearances. 4 tied categories this week.
That's fun.
That is fun. For Frank on his bench this week, he goes 14 for 45. That's a 311 batting average. 7 runs, 6 doubles, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases that would have won the category, 6 walks, and 4 strikeouts with an error. The stolen bases came on Wednesday from McLean and Rafaela on Wednesday. There was a steal. There was also a steal on
It was Sunday.
Sunday.
It was Zach McKinstry who didn't even start the game.
Oh, well, that one doesn't count.
Yeah.
That one doesn't count. But the one on Wednesday, I think, does if he gets that in, he wins another category. At the end of the day, nitpicking.
Right.
Great win.
Right. Yeah. He did just fine.
7 moves this week. He gets but first he gets Ohtani and Pivetta and Adames from you for Jeremy Pena, Seth Halverson,
and Jung-Hoo Lee.
And Jung-Hoo Lee, that was the third piece. I was like, you already have Dylan Lee. How's that work?
Yeah, I've gotten 2 leads from Frank this year. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, you have. So what are you thinking here on the return? You gave up Willie Adames, who has been struggling for you. Nick Pivetta and Shohei Ohtani pitcher.
Yeah, so Ohtani, I held on to him all year long, waiting for him to come back, and but Frank really wanted him, and I gotta be honest, I don't know when he's going to pitch 5 innings. Like they're bringing him along very slowly, and they have guys like Justin Robleski or Ben Kasparius, guys who they can bulk with him, so he only goes an inning or two. to kind of preserve him for what I would assume would be a stretch run in the playoffs. Then he might go 5 innings, but I don't see a reason for him to go 5 innings, anytime soon. So, I felt okay dealing him away. Pavetta was tough because basically now I have nobody from that earlier trade with Josh.
Mm-hmm.
But he had been struggling a little bit. He's still getting good strikeouts. He had a good start against the Phillies this past week. But overall he's been kind of just up and down, which is what I expected out of Pavetta. I think I got the best out of him, at least I hope I did. But Adames, he had a great week this week, and I'm feeling like he's gonna just give it to me and say, see, I told you I'm good. After waiting, half a year for him to, turn it around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely had a nice Sunday for Frank on the late game.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe he does turn it around. We'll have to wait and see. For his moves this week, Brian Hoeing for a horrible relief appearance, Caleb Ferguson for a clean 2 inning relief appearance. He then added the Aarons, Bummer for a terrible relief appearance, and Ashby for a good relief appearance and a win.
See, always go with the Ashbys.
Always go with the Ashbys. Will Klein for a horrible relief appearance and a loss. Caleb Ferguson for a loss in relief. And Romy Gonzalez 2 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. His MVP is fucking Willie Adames. 435 with a 519 on base, 6 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. It'll be interesting to see how much he does change now that Rafi Devers is in this lineup. It's a completely different lineup with Devers in it.
Yeah, Matt Chapman is back too.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely is, it's a lot better than when, Casey Schmidt was doing things. By the way, also I want to throw out Frank did drop Matt McLean, who he picked up
Mm-hmm.
in that trade last week.
Yep.
And when I was talking with Frank, he wanted Matt McLean to get playing time. Like that's why he didn't even want Adames, because he wanted Matt McLean to get the playing time. But he's been bad.
Yeah. And here's Willie Adames hitting 435 on the week, and he's all of a sudden the new starting shortstop. So congratulations, Frank.
Yep. There you go.
The least valuable hitter is Ian Happ this week. He went 050 with a 296 on base percentage. He did have 7 walks with a run, a double, 2 RBIs, and 4 strikeouts. But 050 is just
yeah, that's no good.
No. The Cy Young this week goes to Zach Wheeler, who was amazing. 17 innings, 2 wins, 22 strikeouts, a solo home run, an 053 and an 041 on the whip. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He had an 053 ERA, and Ian Happ had an 050 average. So
yeah.
How about that?
The Cy Young goes to the combination of Aaron Bummer, Will Klein, and Brian Hoeing and Yimi Garcia. They were all terrible in relief. Hoeing with a 27, Yimi Garcia with an 18, Will Klein with a 1350 and a loss. At least Yimi Garcia got the win.
Yeah, but like after he gave up 3 runs or whatever, like that's not a win.
No, but he got the win.
Yeah, I know.
Oh well. Frank, congratulations. Welcome to the table. It is fun to have you here. Now hold on to that seat because there's a lot of dudes coming to fight for it. For Adam on his bench this week, he goes 3 for 14. That is a 214 batting average with a run, a walk, and a strikeout. And none of that plays, but he benched a clean relief appearance from Brad Keller on Wednesday, and that would have won the relief appearance category.
Yeah, and more on him in a minute.
Okay. 5 ads this week. Nolan Gorman 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Colton Gordon 4 2/3 no decision with 4 earned runs in Colorado. Justin Robleski off of waivers and was benched in his 4 2/3 relief appearance. Jansen Junk 6-inning loss with 2 earned runs against Minnesota. Nick Martinez 6 2/3 a win, 4 earned runs, a 540 and a 135 in Boston. So he gets a win in a worse start than Jansen Junk.
Yeah, who got a loss.
Who got a loss. Yep. The MVP this week, Rooker Langoliers. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody really did anything amazing in this
No,
week.
and he only won strikeouts and errors.
Right, right.
Maybe Isaac Collins with his 375.
Sure. Most of that was in a doubleheader against the Mets.
There you go.
And he went 4 for 5.
Mm-hmm. His least valuable hitter goes to Colton Cowser, 160 with a 192. Did have 2 homers and 3 RBIs, but 11 strikeouts. All with a shout out to Josh Naylor, who hit 188.
Yeah, he was in and out of the lineup too, and he's been a mess.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's still the shoulder thing that's kind of bothering him.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Oh, now there's a report that he could be traded this year.
Well, he is a free agent at the end of the year, and Arizona's falling out of it. Him and Zach Gallen would be the 2 big pieces that you'd see moved from that team.
Yeah. That's interesting.
The Cy Young goes to Ronnie Henriquez. 3 innings, a win, 2 saves, 3 relief appearances, 5 strikeouts, nothing earned, and no base runners.
That's how you do it, right?
That's how you do it.
For the Marlins.
Okay, he's their best reliever, I guess. So now he's on Adam's team.
Sure.
The rest of the bullpen is the Cy Young this week between Brad Keller and his terrible 22.50 ERA. Looks like Tommy Canley was bad. Angel Zerpa was bad. Yeah, they just was a bad set of relief appearances for him.
Yeah, I mean, and he benched the clean one from Brad Keller and played him for the terrible one with a loss on Saturday. So yeah.
Adam took quite a tumble here. He's now 6 under 500 in 11th place, right in the middle of the glom. So he's got a ton of work to do. And Frank is feeling pretty happy with himself. I just talked to him a little while ago. He's thrilled to be sitting in 6th.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's having a blast. It's Henry Sherman and then me. So I'm looking forward to this one, see how that goes.
Yeah, these are all guys in the glom, Frank. You got to beat these guys to get in. So it's you said Henry, Sherman, and you.
Yep, and then he's got Arian Levy.
Okay, all right. He's got an opportunity here. The door is cracked open. He's got to push himself through.
Yep.
All right, man. Let's talk about your matchup with Brian Lebo. This could have gotten really ugly, and it didn't.
Yeah, I'm fortunate, but I'm mad about how Sunday went, and a lot of it was unnecessary stress because of the stat corrections. This was closer until the stat corrections came into play. But gotcha. Yeah, it wasn't my best week.
Okay. Well, you flipped relief appearances on Sunday. That's a great start to it. But walked too many guys, gave up too many homers, and took too many losses. So,
yeah, and a lot of that, we'll talk about him, but a lot of that was Cade Smith with one bad outing on Sunday, a loss, and it was a loss, a bomb, and a 108 ERA, and oof. that was pretty much the pitch. Yeah.
So 10-8 going in, 11-8 coming out. For close categories, Lebo wins by a win, 2 losses, 2 home runs given up by a pitcher. Jason, you won by 4 doubles, a steal, 3 errors, and 3 relief appearances, and you guys tied in triples and walks by a pitcher. For Lebo on his bench, he goes 10 for 30. That's a clean 333 with 4 runs, a double, a triple that would have won the category, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. The triple on Saturday comes from Lourdes Gurriel with Zach Wilson's kid at the utility spot 0 for 4.
Yeah, that was the play. He had a double and a triple that day. But I don't know if I would have done the same thing.
Sometimes you miss it. Sometimes it happens.
Yep.
10 ads used this week for Lebo. Joe LaSorsa, 2 2/3 relief appearance with 2 home runs given up. Ryan Nelson, 6 2/3, no decision, 2 earned runs against San Francisco. Colby Thomas, 1 for 4 with a run, a double, and a strikeout. Cole Sands, Logan Evans twice, 5 2/3, a no decision, a walk, 3 strikeouts,
He,
nothing earned.
yeah, he was he picked him up and then dropped him and then picked him up again. And
Okay.
I asked him about it. He said that Yahoo was like going back and forth as to whether he was starting or somebody else. So he wasn't sure who was taking the ball, and it ended up
Hmm.
being Evans.
Okay. And you know what? He got a good start out of it.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
did. I was thinking about it too, but I wasn't ready to use an ad there.
I gotcha. Kevin Ginkle for a bad relief appearance, Austin Warren for a bad relief appearance, Scott Efros for a clean relief appearance, and Wandy Peralta for a clean relief appearance. His MVP this week goes to James Wood. This guy's amazing.
We went 5 for 5 the other day.
364 with a 462 on base percentage, 6 runs, a homer, 3 RBIs, a steal, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter goes to Augustine Ramirez, 091 average and on base, a run, a homer, and 4 RBIs. So at least he contributed something here.
He homered today too.
Of course he did. He's really good too.
He is. Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden the Marlins have like some pieces here that are
Mm-hmm.
actually like working.
Yeah. Lucas Giolito is a Cy Young, 7 2/3, a win, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 117, and an 091. Shout out to Colin Ray, who pitched 6 2/3 of one earned run
Yeah,
ball as well.
yeah. But Giolito is just hurt because again, like I had this guy for a while and he was terrible on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had this 3780 start. I had this 1350 start. But so I dropped him and now he's been like Cy Young again for Lebo and against me. Good
Of
job.
course. Of course. The guy who was not Cy Younging it up was Mick Abel, an inning and 2/3, a loss, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 27, and a 420 whip. Gross.
Yeah. And he's back in the minors now too.
And back into the minors. Jason, for you on your bench, you went 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts. Well done.
Yeah, at least I did that right.
Indeed. 10 ads used this weekend along with the trade. So you got Garrett Whitlock and Brandon Lau from Josh, and Jung-Hoo Lee, Jeremy Pena, and Seth Halverson from Frank. Talk to me about why you felt the need to kind of overhaul this team this close to the deadline.
Yeah, things were working okay, but there was enough here to need some shaping up. I really wanted Jeremy Pena, and it's a shame that he hit the IL with like the day that the trade went through.
Mm-hmm.
He took a pitch off the ribs, and like he's been shut down ever since. Because that was the piece that I really wanted. Like because he doesn't strike out. I have a team of full of strikeouts. He doesn't strike out a lot. He's plays every day. He's leading off for that really strong Astros lineup. Like so that was the piece that I really wanted from Frank, and I got it. The rest of it, like, and at the time, Corbin Carroll was out. I had no idea that he was going to be back so soon. They probably rushed him, because he was terrible over the weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
Jung-Hoo Lee was really brought on to kind of be the center fielder while Carroll was out. Um, and Halverson, I am trying to reshape the pitching a little bit and go a little more bullpen heavy. Not necessarily save heavy, but bullpen heavy. It turns out I got 3 saves on Sunday, which is probably more than I've gotten in the last 4 weeks. So, um, it didn't really matter because I shut out that category. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, look, I feel good about the return. I'm hoping that what I gave up doesn't come back to haunt me.
Okay. And what you gave up, Brendan Donovan, Willie Adames, Shohei Ohtani, and Nick Pivetta. I mean, these are nice pieces to have, but I think getting Jeremy Pena would have been a really solid piece for you, especially in the middle at the top of that Astros lineup and in the middle of yours. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a great
because
piece to have.
yeah, essentially with the trades that I've made in recently, like I have Ketel Marte solidifying second base. I have Stephen Kwan solidifying left field, and he would solidify a shortstop. So that would be kind of 3 positions that I don't have to really think about once
Okay.
everybody's healthy.
Right. Right. 10 ads used this week, sir. You picked up Gavin Lux, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, a double, and 2 walks. Trevor Rogers, 5 1/3, a no decision, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, a 338 and a 113 in Texas. I wish you would have held on to him.
Yep.
Brian Hayes, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Ryan Thompson for a clean relief appearance. Emerson Hancock for a 6-inning loss, 5 earned runs against Kansas City. Jordan Hicks for an ugly relief appearance. Addison Barger off of waivers, 3 for 4 with a run, 2 doubles, a homer, 2 RBIs, and a strikeout. What's that guy's personal phone number, Jason?
1-800. I'm not giving it out.
Okay. Jacob Lopez, 4 1/3, a loss, a homer, a walk, 8 strikeouts, and 4 earned runs against the Giants. There's that guy again.
Yeah, so this guy, I'm sitting here watching that game last night, thinking that I needed 9 strikeouts to tie the category because the stat corrections I forgot about. I forgot about the whole Monday game, and Lebo had Brady Singer in that suspended game, so there were strikeouts from that game that weren't accounted for in the score sheet, and so I'm sitting here going, "Wow, like the rest of my pitching is terrible, but I wonder if Jacob Lopez could get me like 8 or 9 strikeouts to like tie the category." He got 8, and they pulled him because he was awful. And I'm like, he could have got me just one more strikeout, but it didn't matter anyway.
Nope. You added Rafael Montero for a loss in relief and Chase Lee for a clean relief appearance and a win.
Yeah, Montero's first loss of the year is when I decided to
when you pick him up.
Yeah.
Tyler Freeman is your MVP this week. Can't believe I'm saying that. 455 with a 478 on base percentage, 2 runs, 4 doubles, 2 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter goes to Corbin Carroll and his chip fracture. Did not record a hit and had 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, he came back on Saturday, and between Saturday and Sunday went 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. He had a golden sombrero on Sunday. Cool.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yep.
It's terrible. Tariq Skubal is, of course, the Cy Young this week. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, nothing earned in an 0.43. He's been fantastic for you.
By the way, Zach Allen was really good, too.
Oh, he was. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, and a win, a 1.29 and an 0.71. Very nice.
Yeah.
This pitching staff is interesting, man. Skubal, Alcantara, Imanaga, and Gallen, and Darvish.
Yeah. Like, there are some guys here, some of these veterans that, like, if there's something, like, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
But, like, also, like, I had Verlander for a minute again, and, like, I was like, okay, if he's great, cool. If he's bad, I'll drop him. He was bad, so I dropped him.
Yeah. The Cy Young goes to Cade Smith, 2 1/3, a loss, 2 bombs, 4 strikeouts, a 15.43, and a 2.14 across 3 relief appearances.
Yeah.
Bad week from that guy.
Yeah, and, you know, it's funny because he hadn't pitched in, like, a week, and it took Yahoo till, like, Wednesday to tell me that he was day-to-day with a back injury, and he came back in the next day anyway. So I'm like, you could have told me this, like, 3 or 4 days ago. I would have done something about it.
Yeah. Well, you and Lebo are in this glom. Lebo sitting at the top, banging on the door in 8th place, hoping to get in. And he was this close to being in the playoff picture with the stat corrections kind of changing things. He's half game
because
away from front.
I had looked after the games on Saturday or on Sunday morning. I looked to see where what the projected standings were, and he was projected to be in 6th. But stat corrections changed all that.
Yep, and now Frank sits pretty, but these guys are going to battle it out here in a couple of weeks. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, and what do I have? I get the Habers. I get the Habers now. I got Josh for the long week, so that's fun.
Oh, and you got Mike for week 1, right?
Yeah, so I get Mike next week, and then it's Frank, Jimmy, Cody, you, Adam, and Henry to finish it out. So this is gonna be tough cooking.
This is an uphill battle for you, my friend. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna need it.
All right, let's finish this thing out talking about Bobby and Ari. Bobby and Ari went to a 9-9 tie this week. On Sunday, Bobby untied runs but committed an error to tie that category, so it was 9-9 coming in, 9-9 going out. Close categories: Ari wins by 2 stolen bases, a home run given up by a pitcher, and 4 walks by a pitcher. Bobby wins by 2 runs, 2 home runs, 3 walks, 2 wins, and 3 losses. They tied in triples, errors, and saves. For Ari on his bench this week, he goes 20 for 82. That's a 244 batting average. with 7 runs that would have won the category, 3 doubles, a triple that would have won the category, a homer, 7 RBIs, a steal, 6 walks that would have won the category, and 14 strikeouts that would have lost him the category. The triple is the interesting one.
Yeah. The triple was on Saturday. What was that? It was it was Rhys Hoskins, who's now on the injured.
Right, who's on the injured list, and he was in the line. Yeah.
But like,
and Michael Busch homered, and Michael Busch has been stupid hot. And Henderson was
Gunnar Henderson,
like he should be, and
this is just a case of having way too many hitters and just not knowing who to start. But
exactly.
I will say he went over 15 on the bench on Sunday, which is
good job.
Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive.
That is impressive when you get it right once out of the week. 3 moves this week from Ari. He started with Sam Haggerty, 0 for 5 with a run and a strikeout. Luis Severino, 4 1/3, a loss, a homer, 2 walks, a 10.38, and a 162 against San Francisco. And Miguel Vargas, 0 for 3 with a walk. Severino at home, getting beat up. It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, he's pitching spring training every day, right?
Yeah, get him out of Sacramento.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
The MVP this week goes to Michael Busch and Trevor Story. Both of them were fantastic this week. Michael Busch, 565 with a 615 on base percentage, 7 runs, 2 doubles, 4 homers, 7 RBIs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Michael fucking Busch.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like this kid's turning it on. He's hitting 297 with 18 home runs and 56 RBIs. Like, where did this come from?
He should just be Ari's first baseman every day. Fuck Rhys Hoskins. Fuck Miguel Vargas. Forget everybody else. Like, this is the guy.
Because they were platooning him with Justin Turner. They've been trying to shield him against lefties, but he's starting to play against lefties now too. So if that's going to be the case, you put him in there. Don't touch him.
Yeah. Shout out to Trevor Story, who did hit 480 with a 510 RBIs this week. So he had a big week too.
Yeah.
The least valuable hitter goes to Julio Rodriguez. 107 with a 167 on base, 2 runs, a double, an RBI, 2 steals, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. 2 steals did win him the category, so shout out to that. But otherwise, it's a mess for Julio this week.
Yeah, and for the year, he's hitting 247 with 11 bombs. Like, 15
that's not first round caliber at all.
No, and honestly, it's probably not even All-Star worthy, and he made it to the All-Star team. Like,
really?
Yeah, like I think that's name. I think that's like for flashiness.
Yeah.
But like there were more deserving guys than that.
I think so too. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the Cy Young winner this week. 7 innings, a win, a walk, 8 strikeouts, a 1.29 and an 0.57.
Spoiler alert, he won't be this week.
No, he got bombed out against who the hell are they playing?
The Brewers.
The Brewers.
Couldn't get out of the first inning.
Oof, what a mess. The Cy Young goes to Tanner Bybee. 4 innings, a loss, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, 11.25 and a 2.50. What a mess that guy is this week. For Bobby on his bench this week, he goes 14 for 55. That's a 255 batting average. 6 runs, 3 doubles, a triple that would have won the category, a homer, 9 RBIs, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts, and an error. The triple comes on Wednesday.
Nathaniel
Lowe with a triple and 4 RBIs, and utility was empty.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But the utility spot was empty. Nick Kurtz was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. But yeah, I don't know why. Why utility was empty. Nathaniel Lowe had a doubleheader that day. Jackson Merrill on the bench with a doubleheader. Like Bryson Stott on the bench with a doubleheader. Gavin Sheets on the bench with a doubleheader. Start one of those guys.
Yeah, sounds like just a missed day. You know what I mean? Like something was going on that day and you just missed the whole day.
Yeah, but it's funny how both of these guys, they tied in triples with 1, and each of them left a triple on the bench.
Mm-hmm. 5 moves this week for Bobby. Jorge Polanco 1 for 3 with a walk. Lars Nootbaar 0 for 3 with a walk. Mitchell Parker 6-inning loss and a home run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts against Boston. Walker Buehler 5-inning win, 2 strikeouts, a 360 and a 160 against Washington. And Evan Carter 0 for 3 with 3 or 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Randy Arozarena is the most valuable hitter this week for Bobby. He's been interesting this year, but he's on a tear right now. 346 with a 333 on base, 6 runs, 6 homers, 9 RBIs, and 7 strikeouts. It's all or nothing for him.
Yeah, all 6 runs were himself.
Mm-hmm. We're driven in by himself.
Yeah. So I mean, he's hitting. Look, he's got the same line pretty much as Julio Rodriguez, but Julio's the All-Star and Randy is not. So
yeah, is Randy on his way to another 2020 season? I think he is.
Yeah. He's got 14, 15 right now. Yeah.
He'll get there.
Yeah.
The Cy Young, or the least valuable hitter this week, goes to Jackson Merrill, who was a mess. 056 with an 053, a run, an RBI, and 8 strikeouts. This kid came back off the IL recently. He's not doing what he was doing last year. He's only got 5 bombs.
Yeah, 5 home runs and 1 steal. After an amazing year last year, sophomore slump. I know he was hurt too. Was it a concussion or I think it was a concussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has not been good.
No. The Cy Young this week goes to Luis Castillo, 7 innings of win, 8 strikeouts, nothing earned in an 0.29. The Cy Young goes to Quinn Priester, 4 2/3, 2 home runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 7.71 and a 193.
Yeah. He pitched okay. He did win with a 3.77 ERA, so it wasn't terrible.
Okay. Yeah, Bobby had a nice week here. He gets a tie with Ari. He's sitting in 10th, 5 under. He's in this Galam. He's just got to get right, get a big win somewhere along the way, and fight for your seat at the table.
Chris Levy.
Yeah, started off with Chris Levy. Get a big win, get back over 500 right here.
Because following that, it's Ben. So, yeah, Ben Casas and the Habers. So, this is the week. He's got a long week against Chris Levy. Get a good 16-3 or something like that.
Yeah, something big. All right, man. Who's the manager of the week?
I think it has to be Mike Haber, right? Blowout of the week. Shout out to Frank. I know he pushed himself into the playoff realm, but I'm gonna give it to Mike for getting himself right. He had been slumping the last couple of weeks, and he needed this win to kind of steer the ship around and stay in that playoff hunt.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Jimmy Dunlap this week, beating me 13-5. That's a hell of a week. He threw 80+ innings and had an ERA sub 3. Like, that's a hell of a week, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jason, thanks for being here this week with me, man. We struggled through some technical difficulties, but we made it again.
We are gonna make this happen. We made it through half a season. We got a half a season to go.
You're damn right. Guys, thank you so much for being here and watching. Until next time, it's been real, it's been fun, and it is always real fun in the bigs. We'll see you next time.